Hello, it is Ryan Dossie here, and I'm going to be filming a quick training on how to pull a seniors with equity list from ListSource. Now, guys and gals, this is one of my favorite lists. It gives some of the thickest margin, nicest deals. A lot of the times you have folks that have owned a property for a long time, not really updated or maintained it, who are looking to downsize, making them a perfect candidate for real estate investors, such as you and myself. Now, I will kind of tell you a caveat with this list is these leads require quite a bit of follow-up. These are by no means what I would call laydowns. I've done things like moved people into one of my rentals to give them time to find an apartment. I've found them apartments. I've hired movers. A lot of the times they want to sell, but they don't know where to go. So there's a lot of back and forth. Actually filming this training in conjunction with a $41,000 net to us profit deal. I just put out an article on it. I will link to that below, but I'm filming this training for those folks so they can go pull their own for you here on YouTube, so you can as well. So you're going to need to create a listsource.com account. Really straightforward. Punch in your name, address, email. You're good to go. So we're going to click on create your own. And you're going to punch in your geography. Now, I typically do zip codes through ListSource. You know, it will like show you available ones. Typically, I just have a list. I'm just going to do one zip code here just for the sake of this demonstration. Once we have our geography in, we can see it updated. There's 4,133 parcels. Going to click on the property tab. Going to then click on the select criteria tab. And the first thing we want to set is our property type. Now, if you don't do this, included in these 4,100 records is all of these things. Now, I'm guessing you're not looking for a mine or an R&D facility, right? So in this list in particular, we're going to just be pulling SFR or single family residences. I want to show you something. You have to click detailed. If you just do property type up here in SFR, that's going to include things like lots that are zoned single family residence, not even a house built on it. Again, if you're looking for land, I would go detailed and find the land that way. In this instance, I'm wanting houses of, that are actually already built, not looking for land. So I'm going to type in SFR. And that cuts us down from 4,133 to 3,579 single family residences in this zip code. Now, while I'm under this property tab, I'm going to click on this drop down and we've got to add equity, right? No sense in mailing to somebody if they can't afford to sell to me. My equity filter on ListSource is always 35 to 100%. It's extremely rare that somebody calls me who can't afford to sell to me. You'll notice that cut our criteria down quite a bit here. One of the ways you can tell your things are getting applied is they get added to this left sidebar. So we can see zip code. I've got the property type of single family residence, 35 to 100% equity. So all my filters are getting added. Next, this is indeed a senior list. So we're going to do demographics. I always leave it at household. We're going to go age. Now, in my experience, what I'll typically do is 60 to 99 plus, and then I'll also add in this 65 plus tab just to make sure we don't miss anybody. 325 folks. So typically you're going to be pulling this in multiple zip codes, not just one. So you'd have a larger list than this. If you're accustomed to pulling absentee owner lists, this list, you're typically going to have many, many more people in your zip codes because there's a lot more elderly folks who own houses than there are landlords absentee owned. Now, last but not least, we're going to come over here to the options tab at the top, and we're going to click owner occupied because that's what we're looking for. Trusts are fine to leave on there. Actually, a lot of elderly folks own their properties in trusts. Going to leave corporate owned as exclude. That all looks good. We're going to go purchase list next. Now you would name your list and go through here and check out. Now, typically you're going to also click this remove duplicates button. Now, that's not going to do anything on owner occupants because they only own one house. They can't be in multiple houses unless they're committing, some real estate fraud. So with absentee, though, you want to make sure you check that. That makes sure that if somebody owns 5 houses, you don't send them 5 separate letters. And I'll go back through my records and check. If I haven't done an absentee owner training, I will put that out as well. But in a nutshell, that is how we found the data to buy the property referenced in the article I'm going to link to and made $41,000. So that is an actionable how-to for you. Hope it adds a little bit of value to your life and your business.